Welcome into SportsZone. I'm your host, Jeremiah Russo. The NFL offseason is among us, so that means it's time for Jerry Jones to figure out what to do with the Dallas Cowboys after another playoff disappointing loss. Joining me now to discuss what the Cowboys need to do, I got Mason Shepard and Steven Lucero. Guys, how are we doing today?
Doing pretty good. Dallas made moves, as I know he would agree, so I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, finally, the Cowboys are getting involved in free agency. They're not just sitting back until the draft.
About that.
It's nice to see something's finally happening in Big D.
Maybe it got through Jerry Jones' head, but let's go. Let's take a look at just some of the acquisitions and new pieces we got in. We have Stephon Gilmore.
Yep.
We only gave up a 5th rounder for him. I think pretty solid steal. Obviously having it with Trayvon Diggs, you got Malik Hooker kind of in that safety position. That secondary, I think, in my opinion, is going to be one of the best to mess with, not to mess with, obviously. Brandon Cooks was traded from the Texans to here for a 5th and a 6th rounder, kind of helping out that wide receiver role. And we also had earlier today, we had Cowboys sign Chuma Edoga. Sorry if I butchered your name, brother, but you're never going to even see me, so it don't even matter. Then we got him at the offensive tackle. We got Ronald Jones, a running back. And that's just, the little trainings and signings. But, Mason, in your opinion, what's the biggest piece that we've gotten back for the Cowboys?
All right, Cowboys fans, let me talk to you. So I honestly think biggest piece, I'm going to go Ronald Jones, man. That's huge.
Really?
Yes, strictly because, we don't know what Tony Pollard's going to be like after that injury. With a running back, anything that has to do with the lower body, that type of injury is devastating, and we don't know what version of Tony Pollard we're going to get. So to get a guy that was on the Buccaneers, was on the Chiefs, 2 championship-winning teams, that's huge. And I really feel like he can do his job and take care of his business. And I'm really feeling good about that personally. So I would go Ronald Jones.
All right, for me, it's Stephon Gilmore. I think you needed to beef up the secondary. You were struggling at the end of last season with the injuries to Anthony Brown, Jordan Lewis. You were stuck throwing Xavier Rhodes out there in the playoffs, and it's unacceptable. They needed to bring in help. They have Trayvon Diggs, but bringing in Stephon Diggs, and now you have the rookie, now second-year player, Deron Bland in the slot. I think you have a great secondary, like you were talking about earlier. Stephon Gilmore, huge signing.
The only thing about him is he's 32.
He is a little bit older.
32 and a corner.
And you were on the Colts. I'm sorry. You were on the Colts. Sorry about that. Stephon Gilmore obviously was a big one. Now, I want to look at our departures on this side. So, even with all that coming in, we lost Connor McGovern. He went to the Bills. Yeah. That's a big offensive loss. Noah Brown, we switched. He goes to the Texans now. He also joins Dalton Schultz going to the Texans as, that's a little bit of hard one. Then everybody's worst dream came true when Ezekiel Elliott got cut.
Not me. It wasn't
not
my
for him,
worst
I
dream.
guess. Not for him, but
I got nothing against Zeke, but it wasn't my worst dream. I knew this was coming.
Why was it then the best case scenario? Why was it necessary then to just get rid of Zeke?
Look, nothing against Zeke Elliott, but we were paying him a bunch of money to be basically a short yardage back. And, it's one of those things where it's like, we're paying him a bunch of money to be a short yardage back. We don't need just that. We need more than that. And I think we saw this coming for a long time, at least I did. So honestly, this helps open up our offense a little bit more. We can stop relying on getting 2 yards in a cloud of dust and being done with it. So I think it's a better decision that we got rid of him and got somebody to take his place. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree to an extent, but at the same time, it's a little bit interesting. Like we mentioned earlier, injury to my guy Tony Pollard. We look at Derrick Henry, who's had injuries. He was the king. He's still the king of the running back, but even he slowed down in Tennessee. So, it is going to be very interesting to see what is a big one that, big hit that we took, Steven?
Well, to me, I didn't really think it was that bad. Obviously,
Wow.
He spoke on Zeke. I was fine with that because it's tough. I think for me, it was mostly the heart standpoint with him. He was past his prime. It was time to move on, and I'm okay with that. Dalton Schultz is another big one that people are going to mention, but to me also it's just not that big of a loss. I think he's a great tight end, but I think he, like Noah Brown, like many players, are elevated by Dak, who is an elite quarterback. He had some troubles last season, but he makes players better. And I think tight ends, you can easily, Jake Ferguson, I think will be able to step into his place, and he will be a great player for Dallas next season.
Just taking a look at next season, too, we do have the draft coming up. The Cowboys sit at 26. Is there anybody, Steven, that you're maybe looking in particular to pick up?
It's tough. It's tough. There's a lot of options out there, but for me, how about you stay with Texas, pick up Bijan Robinson. Bijan, I think, is a great running back. Obviously, we all know you don't take running backs in the first round anymore, and I agree with that for the most part. But Zeke was the 4th pick. Saquon was the 2nd pick. You can say that, let's not ever do that again. But at 26, you're getting real value. And to me, top 5 prospect in the draft, you can get him at 26, bring him in. I'm all for it.
Really quickly, Mason, who are you thinking?
No one in particular. Just get another offensive lineman.
I agree. We're going to have to do offensive line even with the signings. But we're going to see what happens to the Dallas Cowboys as their season starts to begin with the draft coming up in late April. But don't go anywhere. Coming up next, we got the UNT NIT tournament coming up next.
And now we return to Fabric of Passion.
Oh, Hector, it will be so hard for us to part, but we must.
But, my love, what did I do? I thought we were meant to be together forever.
I am so disheartened to say that you're just not in style anymore. But you will be, to someone else, in a better place.
You're gonna shred me?
No.
I'm donating you to one of the many clothing donation boxes available on campus. There is one in the Union by the Syndicate and one on Union Circle Drive.
Oh, well, why didn't you just say so? I'm gonna be someone's new shirt.
I thought you'd be more distressed.
Oh, absolutely not. It was cramped in your closet anyways.
Maybe you would like to be shredded after all.
Welcome back to SportsZone. North Texas Mean Green, after taking somewhat of a disappointing loss, to say the least, against UAB, now find themselves in the 3rd round of the NIT tournament coming up tonight against Oklahoma State at 6 p.m. But joining me now to discuss the end of the season, kind-of-ish, the end of the regular season for the Mean Green, we got Matthew Wagner. I'm so sorry, guys, and Gabby Pippins. Taylor Swift is on my mind, guys. I'm so sorry. Auto ticket Shabby. But back to the Mean Green. Obviously, disappointing way to end the CUSA tournament. I mean, Matthew, is there anything else to say out there?
Yeah, it was a tough loss. I mean, I thought we had them in the early going, but sadly, it wasn't meant to be, and that's understandable. Hopefully, we can, look, I'm happy we bounced back in the NIT tournament, but I think before we all knew that wasn't going to be the best, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I feel like with that last game, I think Jordan Walker really just took everyone by surprise. I mean, he had 32 points for UAB. So I'm just glad that UNT was able to bounce back, and I cannot wait to see what they do against Oklahoma State.
I mean, I wouldn't say that Jelly Walker was a surprise. I mean, we all knew he was going to be an absolute threat. I would say the big surprise was, how do you go down 22-2 in 10 minutes? I think that's like what, losing 60-0 in football, or like being down that just in the first half alone. That's ridiculous. I don't know what went on. I don't know if it was nerves. I don't know if it was, UAB had the number last year. They won last year, maybe the defending champions, but it was rough when your top players, your whole team is shooting 30%, and you're stuck with now Tyler Perry shooting like 6 of 15. Abu was shooting 3 for 9, barely hitting 10 points. You need those players to step up. And like we mentioned earlier, obviously, out of the CUSA tournament, we are in the NIT. Just talk about, I know we mentioned a little bit about the bounce back, but Gabby, what did you see out there versus Alcorn State, obviously, and the Mean Green absolutely just rolling through them?
Yeah, so what I saw there was a really good game. I mean, they were able to win 69-53. I mean, that's pretty good. And I'm just really surprised by how Tyler Perry was able to come back as well. I think he had 21 points during that game. And overall, I just think it was a really good bounce back.
For sure, yeah, no, definitely piggyback off what you said. I thought like we definitely came out and had a strong start, right? Usually we have strong starts or we have slow starts, and that usually ends up kind of killing us in the end there. I think, versus Alcorn State, we definitely didn't have that slow start. We came out, we dominated. Same thing with the next game. We came out, we dominated. I think for this game, for previewing Oklahoma State, we got to come out and dominate. And we cannot allow Oklahoma State to get back, and we can't choke this way.
Yeah, I mean, in typical UNT fashion, as we always say, we love to start strong and then absolutely blow our lead. And, especially when our team is ranked last in the slowest pace ever, but then somehow ranked the best defense. I mean, it kind of works. Unfortunately, not against UAB. It is definitely working against Alcorn State, and obviously playing against, you got Sam Houston, I'm so sorry. Sam Houston, even that game too, we absolutely balled out, shooting over 50% of the field goals. We actually started hitting the free throws that Grant McCaslin has been working on ever since the final, 3 games of the season, where we absolutely just choked for whatever reason. But all of a sudden now, against Sam Houston, it's all money for us. I mean, what did y'all think?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I thought Sam Houston, we came out, we definitely shot better. I was wondering where that shooting was against UAB. It wasn't there, but I'm happy for it, and I'm happy. Hopefully, we can continue it.
Yeah, that's the thing, just keeping that momentum, especially into this game tonight. I mean, if UAT is able to do that, then I could see them possibly having a chance of winning. I mean, they've got a strong ability to win tonight.
And I was about to say, yes, we do face Oklahoma State, but half the or not even, 75% of the nation disagrees with us. They say right now Oklahoma State is, I think, 75% favorited with, I think, about 4.5 over/under for you bettors out there. Is there anything that we need to do? I mean, obviously it looks like the odds are against us because everybody's doubting on us. But I think that's when we shine the light bright on us. What do you think?
Oh yeah, 100%. When you look at OSU's schedule, they have not had to play very strong defensive teams, and the fact that we're a pretty strong defensive team, number one, I cannot wait to see us shut them down. And their offense is going to be hopefully null by the second half.
Yeah, exactly. It all comes down to defense, and UNT does have the best defense. So I would say this game is pretty wrapped up.
Really quickly, what's kind of the big key players that y'all are looking for? Is it going to be my man Tyler Perry Medea, or is it going to be the ball going to pass around? Maybe even Scott showing up like he usually does? What are we thinking, Gabby?
I feel like right now Tyler Perry's really on a hot streak right now. He's doing really well. He's averaging a lot of points right now, so I feel like it's going to be all on him.
Yeah, like I said, I'm going to go with you, but I'm also going to go with Scott. I hope Scott can absolutely, come off the bench a little bit, maybe start. He kind of does both, and drop some points. I want to see at least 10 out of him. Abu's definitely playing tonight, and I definitely want to see him hopefully not have the foul trouble that he's been having. But I want to see him drop 10, 15, and we'll be set.
Yeah, well, the Mean Green with Grant McCaslin take on Oklahoma State at 6 p.m. tonight in Stillwater, Oklahoma. But don't go anywhere because we also have another team here, also traveling to Stillwater, Oklahoma. So don't go anywhere.
Live from UNT, it's Wheel of Culture.
Welcome back to Wheel of Culture. Our contestant is so close to solving this puzzle. But first, it's time to give the wheel a spin. Wow, you landed on London, one of the many places where you and your fellow students can go on a chance to experience new culture. But only if you can solve this puzzle.
I'd like to solve the puzzle. Study abroad.
That's correct. You just won yourself a trip to study abroad in London, England, and you can too. Just go to studyabroad.unt.edu to see deadlines and apply for scholarships. Get ready to study abroad.
Hey man, are you okay in there? You look terrible. Have you been up all night? Don't you know that according to the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, staying up all night can have a negative effect on your GPA?
Sleep?
Yeah, go to bed.
Welcome back to SportsZone. I'm your host, Jeremiah Russo. The UNT softball team is back on track as they absolutely destroyed UTSA this past weekend, outscoring their opponents 33-6. Joining me now to discuss the UNT and their softball season, we got Sean Hunley and Adam C. Guys, how are we doing today?
Really good, man. What's going on with you?
I mean, like if you caught earlier, I got Taylor Swift literally. If anybody out there got Taylor Swift tickets, just holler at me after the show. But back to the softball. I mean, obviously, what a series. And sorry, UTSA, but we will own you in every sport, even in football. I don't care. You can have your eighth-year quarterback, whatever. Don't make fun of ours if you have, you redshirted how many times. Okay, your franchise is a joke. Now that I got that out the way, obviously, UNT, on Friday, we got a 4-1 win. Saturday, we went 15-2, mercied them, and also a 12-2 win. Adam, what did you see out there from this?
Just straight domination. Pitching was the name of the game, especially in the first game. I mean, and in the next two games, hitting came in, and we just committed murder on live television.
Don't know if we could literally say that on television, but Sean, what did you see out there?
I think what I saw was 15 consecutive losses in Denton. UTSA is they're no match for UNT. I saw Riley Nicholson with her first career grand slam, which is awesome. She also had 2 RBIs. I mean, a couple runs. I mean, this team's killing it right now. Not to mention the pitching is also insane. Mackenzie Wagner, Ashley Peters, they're killing it. This whole squad's killing it. They're doing awesome.
I mean, when you have one of the best pitchers in the NCAA, Mackenzie Wagner, 7-1 and posting up a 1.26 ERA, that's pretty ridiculous. I mean, you got to keep in mind they're not just facing nobody teams. Giving up maybe 4 runs. I think only 2 was hers to Kentucky. A number at that time, it was like the number 14 team in the nation. That's pretty amazing. I mean, other key players I want to mention just this past weekend, obviously Kaylee Christensen, my girl, not just because she's my girl, but take a look at this. She was named Conference USA Player of the Week, posting up 10 plate appearances with 6 hits, 5 runs, 8 RBIs, and obviously at the catcher, she got 20 outs against UTSA, absolutely running over those road runners, no pun intended, just found out that's what they were. What was your key player, Adam? What did you see out there?
It's got to be Kaylee Gamble. I mean, she's the rising star of this team. Sophomore, looking great. First team Conference USA. She always gets hits when you need them, especially when it's extra base hits for some reason. And she always makes the most of every at-bat, giving UNT the upper hand.
I got 2. Riley Nicholson, and I'm gonna go with Mackenzie Wagner. I mean, obviously, Riley Nicholson had her first career grand slam. She also killed it this weekend. Like I said, she had 2 RBIs. She was 1 for 2, I believe, on Saturday, and then on Sunday, she had 1 or 2 RBIs, I believe.
I mean, at the end of the day, she had, 6 RBIs? Ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, totally. Now, we do go to Oklahoma State. We are joining the men's basketball team, not for that game, but obviously for the Stillwater rematch against Oklahoma State, where we lost, unfortunately, 2-0 in the Stillwater 2022 regionals. What is the importance of this game, Sean?
I mean, we got to play like we did against UTSA on Saturday. We play like that, we keep up with them for the entire game. I think it'll turn some heads, maybe get us back in the rankings. This is the number 2 team in the country, though. They're really good. They're 25-2. They've only lost 2 games in their entire season this year. Gotta have to keep up with them.
Yeah, I think it's going to be difficult to beat Oklahoma State. They're a well-oiled machine, and UNT's humans, it's hard for humans to beat machines. The key is to neutralizing the Oklahoma State offense. They have batters that will kill any ball that comes to them, and that's going to be the name of the game.
Yeah, I mean, even when you look at Oklahoma State, they actually have the 2nd best hitter in the nation. I mean, you're going to have to really watch out for this Rachel Becker girl. I'm so sorry. I have so many notes on here. Rachel Becker, you got to watch out for her having over a 5 average. That means, we celebrate players with a 300 average. 400 is ridiculous. Now imagine a 500. above 500. That's ridiculous. I mean, even Oklahoma as a team, they're sitting at 6th in all batting average. I mean, this is an explosive team with an explosive bat, and we do have actually one of the better ERAs in the nation, sitting at about 31 while they're sitting about 36. Like you guys said, it's going to be the name of the game. What are some key players that we're looking for, Adam?
I think the key player, someone you mentioned earlier, Kaylee Christensen. She is white hot right now coming off the UTSA series, and I promise you, if she can keep that up, we could maybe shock the world.
Kaylee Gamble, Riley Nicholson. I believe Riley Nicholson, over the past 6 games, she leads the team in batting average with .533. She's got 7 runs, 7 RBIs, 2 home runs, and 2 doubles over the past 6 games. So she's going to be a big part in this game.
I'm going to pick a little bit of a dark horse. I'm going to go Celine Donahoe. She's been absolutely raking behind the plate, kind of, a little bit behind, kind of like hiding behind, not hiding behind, but, she's that dark horse that, not a lot of people are going to expect, and then all of a sudden there's 450 dead center. I mean, like you said, Adam, you agreeing that we're going to pull the upset off, do you think?
I'm not agreeing, but anything's possible with the college football
Sean,
world.
what do you think?
I don't know, man. Number 2 team in the country. I don't know if we can do it. Like I said, keep up with them.
Well, you know what? We may be the number 2 or facing the number 2 country in the nation, but guess what? Tonight, we are the nation of Team USA going against Team Japan with the World Baseball Classic coming up next. Welcome back in the Sports Zone. Tonight we have Team USA, all great Team USA, versus Team Japan in the World Baseball Classic finale tonight at 7 p.m. in Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida. Joining me now to discuss the World Baseball Classic, the tournament, and the finals, we have Trey and we have Jose Moreno. How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing great. Ready to see this game tonight.
I'm doing amazing. Heartbroken about last night, but still doing great.
I know. I'm sorry, bro. I mean, I'm Team Puerto Rico is for me, and I'm also Team Italy. Team Italy did absolutely horrible, and Puerto Rico absolutely
You expected
toe job.
Italians to be able to play baseball?
Hey,
and I expected Puerto Rico to play baseball, but
hey,
no,
man.
we're at the Americans.
Hey, the Mexican hype train is going hard.
Well, we'll go to the Mexican hype train as Japan defeated Mexico. What did you see? I know you were watching the game. What did you see out there?
I mean, I think I have never seen a never say die attitude bigger than in any team in any sport that I've seen than in Japan. This Japanese baseball team is one of the most intimidating I've probably ever seen in any issue of World Baseball Classic, just because this is the only time I've ever thought this team could easily beat the U.S. You know, the country that invented the sport. Just insanely great team with Murakami, Shohei Ohtani. You have Yoshida. You also have Yu Darvish, which surprised me. I didn't think Yu Darvish would play for Japan, but I mean, he does. He's been playing.
Newbar, who's the white is this background, and all of a sudden he's on Team Japan. So I mean,
and he is amazing for Team Japan as well. I mean, this is the same tournament. We saw a team blow out another team 22-2, and Japan's pitching has been amazing. So in a kind of tournament where every game's an all-star game, to have that good of pitching says a lot about
about that team and how well they're carried right now.
Yeah, both those guys, you mentioned Darvish and Ohtani, both those guys, the Rangers used to have, going to Texas Rangers now, you have Darvish used to be on the Rangers. They play Ohtani, and it's going to be a really tough battle. Like you said, they're loaded. It's going to be an insane game with all the great hitting on both sides. Even Team USA loaded. Trey Turner, Mike Trout, and like I said, Trout playing against Ohtani and his teammates. So it's going to be one heck of a matchup.
Yeah, I mean, Team USA, quite possibly one of the most stacked rosters position-wise, but I don't know about pitching. I think, obviously, tonight we have them going against each other. We have Merrill Kelly for USA starting. We also have, I'm so sorry, I'm going to butcher this name. We have Shota Imanaga. I think we got it. Maybe not. It's okay. I mean, no harm. But, I mean, that's going to be a battle. We have a southpaw versus Merrill Kelly. I mean, USA, obviously the strength is not in the pitching, but what do you think? What was the decision going in, Trey?
I think, it's going to be tough. The pitching for Team Japan is definitely solid, no doubt. So these hitters have to come alive tonight for Team USA. And we've seen Team USA has only taken that loss to Mexico, 11-5. But since then, they've been on fire. So I think the hitting's just really got to be there tonight. And I think guys like Trey Turner can do it.
But, this is a classic sports rivalry. U.S. and Japan hate each other in two different sports, women's soccer and baseball. And this is quite literally probably the most hyped matchup we've ever had for these two teams. This is the best both teams have played. I think I'm more scared of Japan's batting right now. They're just going on a tear. Of course they are. They have Shohei Ohtani and Yoshida on their team as well. Red Sox represent. But I honestly do think
Don't forget about Murakami right there.
Murakami as well.
He's been cold.
But you know what? He was cold for a bit, but he really picked things up last night. He proved himself he is that guy.
If he gets hot, I wouldn't say it's over, but it's going to be very scary. Obviously we have Trey Turner with the hot bat, 4 home runs, 3 home runs in the last 2 games. Our president right there, Trey Turner. Look at that. Just absolutely smacking that ball. What can you ask more of that guy?
Yeah, there's not much more you can ask. He's making big plays. I know that Team USA is really going to rely on him going into the game tonight. But going against somebody like Yoshida, we didn't really mention, he has 2 home runs, 13 RBIs, and 5 runs. He's been on a tear, like y'all mentioned. So it's going to be not only a battle of the pitchers, it's going to be a battle of these great hitters as well. And I think Team USA really has it with all the great stacked talent they have, but it's going to be a close one.
Now, kind of moving a little bit, I guess, adjacent to the actual game, what do you guys think about the World Baseball Classic as a whole? Do you guys think that this is a good event to keep having on, or do you guys think this is kind of a bit of a waste of time?
I think I don't even watch baseball that often. That's why I'm not on baseball segments very often. But I do watch WBC in the World Series, and I think WBC since 2017, the 2017 edition was awful. It ended in a blowout between Puerto Rico and the U.S. No one watched it. But this year, and I think it's because that World Cup just happened, people still have that fever of cheering for the U.S. for random things. So they were like, you know what? Let's go all aboard for WBC. And what a good thing, because WBC has been the best it's probably ever been. This is the best thing for baseball. You want more countries to be good at a sport. It opens up bigger interest, it opens up more marketing opportunities, and it brings up more opportunities in general for other players to showcase their talents and maybe get picked up by the MLB. I know a lot of the Japanese youngsters playing, like Murakami, as you mentioned. A lot of the young lions are playing right now, and they are showing out. And I can see, and I bet those MLB teams are just licking their lips, wriggling their fingers like a fat guy with some donuts right there. It's gonna
now we're sponsoring Dunkin' Donuts or Krispy Kreme at this rate. Really quick, USA or Japan? Who do you have?
I'm gonna be a devil's advocate. Let's go Japan!
What do you have?
USA.
All right, I'm the tiebreaker. Honestly, I'm gonna go Japan. I don't see why not. But if you enjoyed what you see today, don't forget to tune in this Thursday at 5:30 p.m. for another show of SportsZone. And if you're on any social media, go ahead and follow us at NTTV_sports. And don't go anywhere, because coming up next is NTTV's Nightly News.
Krispy Kreme.